Sure.
Talib, could you tell us a little bit about your journey and what led you to where you are today?
Okay, first of all, my name is Talib Iqbal. I am 24 years old. I was born in Bhopal, but then I went off to study engineering in Chennai. And while I was doing engineering, like many people do, I started realizing my passions. And one of those passions was filmmaking and photography. So I decided that after I'm done with engineering and all the studies and stuff, then I will try to get into it professionally and try to convert that passion into profession. So for doing that, I started off learning by myself. I didn't really join any photography school or course. I learned by practice, by trial and error, and eventually, after a few years, it has been around 4 5 years since I've been doing this. And after these many years, I can say that yeah, I am working professionally as a filmmaker and a photographer. So yeah, that is it.
Amazing. What has your journey been like? What were a few obstacles that you faced as someone who did not study it or get that qualification? Was there any bias that you experienced as a filmmaker?
Of course, yeah, there were ups and downs. When you learn by yourself, when you are learning by trial and error, the process becomes a bit longer. When you are studying in an institution, then every resource is given it to you. You have a professor, you know who you can ask doubts to, you know where to go when you have a lot of doubts. But on the internet, you have to search a lot. But the benefit of that is that it's free. It's free education out there on YouTube, on many other platforms. So it is like a good and bad thing. So I can't really complain about that. But apart from that, I think photography is a profession which has a lot of competition nowadays, which I don't think was not really meant for. I think ever since people have started using social media for putting out content, I think the competition has become really cutthroat, and I think the sense of community has been missing. So that has been a bit of a hurdle, because since I didn't really go to any institution, I wasn't really in a circle in which I had photographers with me, in which I had like-minded people with me.
Mhm.
So it was a bit challenging to stay creative when people around you are either businessmen or into fashion, or doctors or engineers, and you're the only one who is the photographer. So it gets a bit tough that way, but I don't think it's that big of a hurdle, because it's the path that I've chosen, and I can't really be sad about it. Apart from that, another thing that causes hurdles is the inner conflict that you always have. Like now, people post a lot of stuff on Instagram, on YouTube, so you start comparing yourself to them, and in a way then a lot of things happen. You think that you are not that good enough, which is not really true. And since filmmaking and photography are such expensive passions, so what all gear you need, buying all that gear and asking your parents for that money, or investing your own money, that is also a big mental hurdle, because it's a lot of money you have to invest. But all in all, I think photography and filmmaking are such beautiful passions that no amount of money that you invest, I don't think I regret any of it. And I don't think any of the hurdles that I faced, I don't think I regret any of them, because they eventually help in building yourself and building you into a better photographer and a better filmmaker.
Amazing. Focusing on the photography aspect for a minute, as a photographer, do you have that perfectionism that a lot of photographers have, that you're like always striving for the perfect photograph?
Definitely, definitely. I think if you are doing something and if you're not doing it perfectly, then what's even the point of doing it? If you are doing it just as a hobby, if I'm out there with my family and my camera and I'm taking pictures of my dog, then I don't really have to be perfect about it. But if I want to excel as a professional, then I need to be perfect at it. If I need to be better than the competition, then I need to be perfect at it. But at the same time, it is very important to not let perfectionism stop you from creating. It has happened with me a lot of times that I want to make a good photograph and I go out to shoot, but then just because of perfectionism, I think it's not good enough. And that is when perfectionism is a bit harmful. You should strive for it, but you should not really let it stop you from creating just mundane daily pictures, which might be perfect to someone viewing it. It might
Right.
not be perfect for you, but for the audience, it might be the best photo they have ever seen. So
Absolutely.
you don't really know what perfectionism is. You don't really know what perfect is, because everybody has their own opinion. They see things subjectively, and a photo which you think is really bad could be a really good one. And it has happened with me a lot of times. Like, I have uploaded pictures like which were perfect according to me, and they didn't even reach the audience. Like, nobody liked it, nobody commented it. Like, the terms you use, likes and comments, just as validations on social media. And photographs which I've clicked with my phone, and which is of maybe an insect, and it goes viral. I thought it is nothing, it's just very imperfect, it's not even worth uploading, but then it goes viral. So we don't really know what perfectionism is, what perfect things are, but yeah, you should really strive for it, I think.
Amazing. So since you're traveling at this point, and I've heard from my team who connected with you that you're like traveling often, how do you think traveling helps you become a better artist?
I think traveling in general is very important in just life, like for every profession, not just for artists. Just connecting with people on a face-to-face term is very important. Talking to strangers is very important. Getting to know that everybody has their own story, everybody has their own struggles is very important. Speaking of it, as an artist, as a photographer, I think if I am having a creative rut, if I am in a creative block, the only thing that can solve that is traveling. And also, to become a better photographer, it is very crucial to travel, because I cannot sit inside my house and imagine how I would compose an image of a mountain.
Right.
And I cannot sit at a mountain and imagine how I would compose an image of a beach. You have to be physically there. You have to be at those lighting conditions. You have to be physically present in order to improve your composition, in order to improve your photography.
Right.
And the most important thing I feel in photography is that the empathy that you must have towards every human being, I think. Because whenever I do street photography, I see smiling faces and I see people having a good time. That motivates me to go out and shoot a lot many times. Sometimes I'm feeling at home that no, I don't really want to shoot. I'm not in the mood. I'd rather do something else. But then I imagine how fun street photography is, and then I just go out. So I think traveling does that to you a lot when you meet new people, and sometimes while traveling you meet new photographers as well. So it helps you in connecting with more people, and which might lead to better projects in the future, better collaborations, and just a better life as a photographer.
Right. I understand. Moving forward to the impact that you want to create, how do you think filmmaking and photography helps you create a social impact, and what is that social impact that you're trying to create?
That's a really great question. I think all the entertainment mediums have a lot of impact on human beings, because people don't really watch it for entertainment nowadays. Nowadays, people really want a meaning behind every art form, and that is really good. And I think as photographer, when I started doing photography, and even when I do it today, I frankly, frankly speaking, I don't go out with an intention to create a change. I don't go out with an intention to uh, change people's mind or something like that. I do it just for fun. I love it. I love the process of it. But at the same time, while doing photography, I have realized that it creates a lot of impact. It has created on me as well. Like I just told you, when I go out to do street photography, I have started realizing that people in general are very beautiful. Like, in today's world, so many bad things are happening, and we know that so many bad people are there. But after doing street photography and meeting new people while traveling, I have realized that even just for but one bad person, there are 10 other good people in this world. So I think photography impacts people in that way. It lets you see the world in a different perspective, and it has impacted me a lot in that way, and I hope that it does to the viewers as well.
Amazing. So, something a little off topic. How do you think I wouldn't say industry, but how do you think the art form of photography has transitioned since you started and what it is today? What do you think about that?
I think it has become really accessible to people now. A few years back, like not even few years, if I could talk about 10 years back when I didn't know anything about photography, then I would think that you really need to have a big camera in order to go out and shoot. But nowadays, with the technological advancements, I think some cell phones have even better cameras than a DSLR, than a professional camera. So over the years, I have seen that kind of gradual change, and I have seen the change in photography as well. Now, different perspectives are really appreciated. You can fly a drone and get an aerial shot. You can use an action camera and get an underwater shot. So I think over the years, the kind of pictures have really changed, and that is mainly because of the kind of technology that is being used today.
Right. So, what do you think, in your opinion, is the ultimate validation for a photographer? Keeping social media aside, of course. Imagine social
Yeah.
media does not exist. What is the validation?
Okay. Yeah, social media is not a validation in the first place as well. Even if you include it, it matters. It depends on a lot of things. We can keep talking about it for hours, but at the end of the day, it's not the ultimate validation. I think for me, the ultimate validation is if I am, see, photography is like a passion to me, and I think if you can keep continuing your passion, that is the ultimate validation. Now, if you speak as a photographer, in order to me to be keep continuing as a photographer, I need to keep creating good images which are taken very positively by other people. So many people say that it doesn't matter if people are not liking your photographs, you should just keep creating. But if people are not liking it, then there is definitely something wrong about it.
Right.
So I think the ultimate validation would be if I show a picture to somebody and they just like it. They just say that's a really good picture. That's it. Because as I already said, there is no perfect image. There is no one definition for a perfect image. As a photographer, if you ask me technically, I would say getting the eye in focus is the most validating thing ever. If I can get the eye of the person in focus, because that is a really tough thing. Many people get the nose in focus. So I think, speaking as a photographer, getting the eye in focus is the validation for me. But at the same time, yeah, I think if you are supported by your friends, if you are supported well by your family, it doesn't have to be 1 million followers. Even if you have 10 people who are rooting for you till the end of your journey, I think that is enough validation for anybody. Because if people are supporting you, then definitely you are doing something right.
Absolutely, that's true. So,
Yeah.
moving on a little bit, what would be your advice for aspiring photographers who want to start, and uh, how would you talk about the it being a profession that requires a lot of investment in gear if you really want to do it well? So, what's the advice you would give to young people?
The advice that I would give would be, honestly, I'm not in a situation, in a position to give advice, because even I'm just starting out and I'm not a professional. But definitely, I have learned through the process, and I would love to people to follow that. And I think the only advice that I can give is keep creating. Just create every day, every minute. Think of creating every hour. Think of going out and shooting photographs. There's a quotation that I really live by, and it says that start before you are ready. Many people think that, okay, I'm not ready right now, I don't have a camera, I don't have a laptop to edit photographs. That doesn't matter. Start before you're ready, because that will give you more time to make mistakes and learn from them. And I think the advice that I would give is start right now. Don't think that, okay, 1 week later maybe the sun will be setting well and then I will shoot. No, you have to start creating on a daily basis and make it a habit that whenever you go out to shoot, you are just creating images, good or bad, doesn't matter, just keep creating images. So that is something that I would say. And also use all the bad bad instances in a way that you can learn from them. Like when you travel, when you do photography, many things go wrong, many things go right. So you have to be really optimistic and you have to be really passionate about photography. You cannot associate with numbers, like you get, I got 50 likes on this post, oh no, I shouldn't do photography, I'm not meant for it. You should not really associate it with numbers. Just do it for the fun of it, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Don't think that the image is good or not. Think that when you left your home, then you reached somewhere, you talked to some strangers. How was that experience? If that was good, then you've done your bit.
Right. That's
And coming to
very.
your,
Tell me.
yeah,
Yes.
coming to your follow-up question, the investment one. As I already said, photography and filmmaking are really expensive passions. And even today, even when I get good images, I still think it would have been much better if I had a better lens, much expensive lens. And this will keep happening with me till next 20, 30, 50 years, because every new year, new lenses are coming, new cameras are coming. So that want will never end. But if someone is starting out as a photographer, the advice that I would give to them is start with whatever you have. Even if it's a big camera or even if it's a small camera, you need to start with whatever you have. You don't really need to invest any money in the beginning. First 1 or 2 years, you don't need to invest anything. If you have a cell phone, start off with that. Because I think the most important thing to take in consideration while doing photography is the composition and the lighting. And no matter which camera it is, you can compose an image. You can see if it's a sunset or a sunrise.
Right.
So if once you master the composition of an image, then you can later go in depth and learn on more expensive cameras, learn about more lenses, learn about different perspectives in photography. So for first 2 years or first 1.5 years, just learn symmetry, learn composition, different kinds of rules in photography. Everything is available free on YouTube. So first do that. Once you have gained that knowledge and you become more confident that yeah, now I can invest in a better camera, then do your proper research and invest in a good camera. Many people try to do like step by step. Okay, right now taking photos on phone, then I'll buy a cheap camera, then I'll buy an expensive camera. I think it gets very tough gradually. If someone who is able to invest money, I would rather tell them to invest in a really good camera, that from now on you don't have to think about spend it at once.
Right.
Because like even I bought a camera when I wanted to learn photography, and now I think it would have been much better that if I would have had a much better camera, you know. And camera is not something that you can buy every 6 months. It's like you once buy once or twice in your lifetime. So whenever you are ready to invest, invest well in it, and invest only when you are ready. Before that, just learn on your phone, just learn on cheap cameras are also available. Use your friend's camera, use your dad's old camera, and just use whatever you have in order to improve your skill. That's it.
Amazing. So my final question to you would be, when you started out, how did you overcome that self-doubt and that imposter syndrome that just because I am an amateur, I'm not a real photographer? How did you overcome that?
I think it's a very long process. I think it still is there somewhere in me. It depends on what kind of people you surround yourself with. If you are with people who are very competitive and who are judging you by your photographs, then it will be a very bad process for you. But for me, I was lucky enough to be surrounded by creative people who might not be in the same field but who appreciated art and creativity, and who appreciated the fact that I was starting out learning photography. Even my family was really supportive. Everybody who was around me was really supportive, even on days when I clicked bad pictures. So I think at the start it's important to surround yourself with loved ones like friends and click their photographs, and then gradually take step upwards and try to get clients. And then eventually I think every human being feels that they are not good enough. Even Sachin Tendulkar on some days might feel that he's not good enough, but it doesn't make them any lesser version of themselves.
True.
So it's important to surround yourself with people who criticize your work well, not because they are your competitors, but because they care for you.